Le Maroc est un pays phare dans la région en matière de développement digital. C'est pourquoi nous-mêmes nous travaillons avec des entreprises marocaines dans ce domaine et essayons également d'aider à investir sur le reste du continent. Nous considérons que le Maroc est un peu une des portes d'entrée sur le continent africain et profiter de sa position géographique, de la qualité de son secteur financier pour pouvoir développer plus de fintech et développer toute cette technologie qui est nécessaire. I was today with Mustafa Terab in the discussion of OCP. What we have seen the impact of technology on agriculture is quite amazing. We are about to launch a large report on Digital Africa, which should be released in January. And that will be a report that will be capturing the policy aspect and other aspects. Secondly, we are doing work on closing the gap. Actually, a company that you know quite well, Lerato, was one of our large clients. It was an African company. And a couple of years ago, we invested close to $1 billion of resources in fiber optic, in towers, and all these. And it was done with a company which was investing in fiber optic. So we contributed to really closing the gap. And 50% of what we are doing is done in what we call fragile states, places where people don't want usually to go. So this is the second element of what we are doing. All this is just done for the sake of doing it. It's because we see that it creates jobs. If I look at my own country, Senegal, one of the largest contributors of jobs have been in the youth, have been things which are linked to the digital economy, and it's continue creating a lot of things. So one we don't talk a lot about is cybersecurity. Yeah. And cybersecurity could be an obstacle in growing the business in Africa. I remember one day when I was working with my colleagues on this, I visited Silicon Valley, Cisco. Yes. And they have this big, where they show you all the countries. And if I tell you the country where the largest amount of cyber attack was coming, that day you will be surprised. It was Zimbabwe. Mm. It's clear that it was not Zimbabwean who were doing this. It means that someone has hacked an IP from Zimbabwe, and from there were attacking the system. Yeah. So we should not neglect cybersecurity as there is more and more user. Fourth, the cost of handset. Mm. In most of the developing countries, the digital penetration is done through handset. And handset are still quite expensive, as you know, because you've been in many of that discussion. So there is some attempt to produce them, but we have mixed results there, and it's something that I think will need to be tackled. Lastly, to have regulator who can really help for accepting some more disruption. There were some situations where there were some monopolies. IFC invested in some disruptive and some startup, which really disrupted that sector and allows them to lower the cost of a lot of services that were provided in. So those are the type of questions that more and more we are dealing with. And the last one is ensuring that we're greening all this data center. And a lot of our investment has been to provide actually opportunity for owners that is data center to be able to do it in a green way.